Hello and welcome to the Gold Advantage on the Best-of-3 Network. Unfortunately, the return of the trio was very short-lived and Big Money Blivs has once again dropped us for something better. In this case, I think it's drinking and playing the worst sport known to man, soccer or football, as it's known in the civilized world. But Scoot and I are here to give you our predictions and analysis for the round one of the LCS Playoffs. Scoot, how are you doing while you suck back that water? Just really
listen,
good clean issue.
At least I didn't nearly botch my
I know.
intro,
I was like,
clear.
oh shit.
You're struggling through that
Yeah.
one. But again, I'll repeat myself after last week. There's one person that always shows up.
It's true.
It's
true.
It's the boy.
You're always here.
So I'll be here till I fucking die. But yeah, I'm excited to get into playoffs. I'm actually, not super excited about this week. I think there's something to prove in the second match, which will be fun.
I find that I can't believe you're not excited about the second match. I think it's like
I'm not excited about like Liquid FlyQuest. I'm more excited about C9 and CLG. Yeah, 100%. But like,
match.
I am very excited to get deeper into playoffs on a more selfish level because I'll be at finals. So, if you're a fan of the Best3 Network or specifically the Gold Advantage, and you're going to be at the United Center, come pull up and say hi. I might have a little surprise for you. If you're a really huge fan or whatever, and we might be getting media credentials allegedly, so that would be fucking sick.
That'd be fun.
Yeah,
I'm shocked. C9 CLG is like the most exciting round one matchup I can remember.
In a while, yeah. Listen.
So like it's just
it goes without saying that like round ones just generally usually aren't exciting,
exactly.
and this is a far more exciting match than typical.
There we go.
I would agree.
Right. Okay, so we're in agreement there. I think, but we're kicking it off with the first one, which is FlyQuest against TL. I don't think this one will be very long. I kind of have my analysis, but like, do you have anything you want, or should I dive into it?
I mean, you can go ahead and dive into it. I think this lays itself out pretty clearly for a Liquid 3-1.
Yeah. I
specifically, I think, which 3.1 odds on that, not terrible, but like there's not a lot of value across the board here.
I'm in agreement with you there. I think unfortunately, like when I was looking into these two teams, FlyQuest is just a worse, matches up really poorly into Team Liquid. So a lot of FlyQuest success comes from Tukui and him having a pop-off game. And he's had most player of the game awards this split than anyone else. So he really, like, when he pops off, they do well. And he's really acknowledged as, like, the key to that team. The problem is like, when you look into who he's going up against, it's Bjergsen. And Bjergsen is the most consistent mid laner, I would say. Great episode of the
Maybe
dive. I think so, yeah, ever. But he's one of the best mid laners ever in North America. Even Western, I think he doesn't get enough credit. But he is just rock solid. He, Azale was singing his praises. It's just like he does exactly what you want from a veteran mid laner. He's going to push the lane. He's going to apply pressure. He's good in team fights. He outputs a lot of damage. He kind of knows when to rotate towers, all of this stuff, and he doesn't die. He's just like rock solid consistency. And when you're someone like Tukui who needs a pop-off game, you want someone you can play into and play against. And I think Jose Diodo and Tukui are going to find it very hard to match up and create some sort of advantage out of Bjergsen and Santorin, who are just so rock solid stable. When you look at someone like Bwipo, who has the highest deaths on Team Liquid, and you go, okay, well, is he going to be the weak link? Thing is, he has such a diverse champion pool. He can play so many different styles. And as much as he has the highest deaths, so does Philip. And Philip lacks a lot of experience. He's played so well. I've been really, really impressed by him for like how we thought he would be really bad. Everyone did. I think he's performed so well. So credit where that is due, and he should be really proud of himself. Team has done great, but nonetheless, I don't think he has the experience to like punish Bwipo. This is playoffs, so there's extra pressure. Johnson.
I mean, correct me if I'm wrong though. Bwipo has like a somewhat tendency to try to disrespect his laning opponent, like with some of his picks and stuff. And that has backfired 100%. Here and there. Now, does he have the cojones to pull it out on a top 3 North American org?
Well, this is the thing.
In a playoff game Yeah, like
Bwipo can do that sort of thing, but can Philip take advantage of it? Against Impact Ssumday, or Fudge, you're more concerned because they can, like, if you give them an inch, they'll take a mile. Can Philip convert it? I don't know that he can. The bot lane again is going into 2 veterans who are very stable, and it's a weird thing because we're saying TL has underperformed, but they've underperformed into 3rd place. They also they have a ridiculous early game. Like the stats.
I mean, to be honest though, like the expectation was a lot higher.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is crazy to say, right? That it's that 3rd place is the low, but like you think about who's actually playing, and you're like, I expected a lot more. This seems similar to Vitality, but like Vitality, obviously, way worse situation.
But you kind of need to keep that in mind because it's like, whilst we're criticizing them, they're not a bad team. They're just not.
No, and I think the point of what you're saying is that like their level and like they're just stable play
stylistically.
It's already enough of a problem for FlyQuest to start with, and then you add in the fact that they can pop off. You say Bjergsen is going to be a very solid rock like in mid lane, right? But Bjergsen can also fucking pop. Can. Like, I mean, not that he has been as much recently, I would agree, but it's still there.
Well, the bigger thing is like the way to beat Team Liquid is their late game, their mid to late game. Because their mid to late game is shaky. We saw that with like 100 Thieves who can like weather going down 4-5k in the early game and then turning it around and winning the mid to late game through incredible team play, knowing how their comp is, being very diligent, all of that. The thing is that's 100 Thieves, the 2nd ranked team. You know what I mean? Like EG, how many teams can play like that? How many teams can go down 4 or 5k and come back from that? And I just don't think FlyQuest is that sort of team. And the point is that Team Liquid is going to get that early game advantage because their early game, their laning is obscene. Like, to give you some idea of stats, they're number 1 in the gold percent rating. So it's how much of the gold they hold relative to 50%. So it's like how dominant they are. They have a 1.47, which is in 1st place. The next best team is EG at 0.82. So TL nearly doubles EG's rating there. 100 Thieves after that is 0.44. So TL is triple that. Easy. Average gold spend difference, TL's at 9.2%, EG's at 6.9%. Their early game rating is a full 10 points higher than the next best team, which is Cloud9 and then EG at 67.1. It's their mid to late game where they suddenly drop actually to 6th place. And this is where I find it hard to believe that FlyQuest will be able to survive that early game in a good enough state to be able to convert it in the late game. So ultimately, I think, it's just one of those things where I think it's a 3-1 Team Liquid. I think FlyQuest will have a 1 pop-off game. I think they might have a good draft, something along those lines. It's just hard to believe that they'll do it over 3 games. So, I could even see it. So I think TL minus 1.5 at 1.52. You could take that. That's not really great. I don't have any.
No, there's nothing. There's nothing.
Do you have any prop bets? Because I don't have them at the moment.
I don't really have any, and I don't have any listed realistically. I think if you're gonna do anything, you could probably go with kill handicaps on TL, but even those need to get pretty out of hand.
So I would,
which I mean, FlyQuest can play within their shoes just a little bit, but I mean, I agree with.
I'm trying to
pretty much everything you said along the way to getting the long-winded version of TL.
Yeah, I just kind of want to get some substance to it.
Well thought out though. Yeah, I mean it was very well.
Annoyingly,
thought out.
I don't have any prop bets. If I was, I would highlight First Tower is a really decent bet on TL. We prefer to have them at around 1.6, 1.66 primarily. But yeah, TL First Tower is a good bet to go for. You could maybe go for FlyQuest First Dragon. Neither team has a great First Tower. So that just to give you is TL's tied for first place at 78%. Then we have First Blood. I don't think either team is particularly great. TL, they're right next to each other, so that's not particularly great. And then we have
yeah, but if they're 50-50 and the odds are stacked on TL's side, it's worth taking FlyQuest. That's the case.
Maybe, yeah, that's, I guess. And then First Dragon, TL is at
Expected
50%.
value.
So you have FlyQuest at 47%. Maybe because of first tower rate, you could say that TL prioritizes Herald, so FlyQuest will take Dragon, so maybe the odds are generous enough there. I don't know if I would take that. That's basically all I have. I think first Baron is pretty good for TL as well. I don't know what the odds are. So if they're like at a 1.2, not worth it. If it's a 1.5, maybe you can risk it. Anything over 1.6, I would 100% take.
What is FlyQuest's early game rating? Like, where does it rank? Where does it stack
They
up?
are 5th. Exactly where they ended up. 6. They
six. Have like but that's a function of how they win games. Like for a decent chunk of them, a lot of it is catching like players that are not prepared off guard early with ganks, and then just taking that advantage.
And then mid to late game they're in 4th place, so they have a good mid to late game, and TL has a weak mid to late game. So there is something there, but you need to be able to push it. You need to be able to perform well in playoffs. I am
like interested in how TL's like breakdowns of like where those statistical anomalies are coming from, right? Because a lot of this could be like they're stacking heavy leads against bad teams in like early game, and they're still getting advantages against good teams, but they might not be as big, and we might be just seeing kind of an average of that number.
No, they're getting advantages even against good teams. I went back and looked at it.
I agree, but I don't think they're as sizable.
No, but you do get stuff like against 100 Thieves where they were up 4-5k 15. And this is, like to give you an idea of it. Often. They're gold at 15. So in 3rd place we have EG at 320, and 100 Thieves is right behind them at 299 in 4th place. So around that 300 mark is EG, and then just below it, 100 Thieves. 2nd place at a significantly higher is Cloud9, 811. TL is at 1800. Like, it's just, the jump from Cloud9 to the next spot is double, and that's like, wow, okay, it's more than double, and you're like, shit, that's pretty impressive.
That might the say fact that TL kind of says a lot about how like bad TL's team play is.
Yeah,
this is the weird. Times.
This is unfortunate. I think when you look at it, I think Bjergsen has played really well. I think Bjergsen has played really well. I think Bwipo has played really well in top lane. Hansama has been decent. I not as good, I think, as in previously, and nor has Core JJ, but they're both actually, if you look at them individually, it's like, oh no, actually you're playing well. I think Santorin has done really well for a bad team, and that's the thing. You have 5 individual players who have really good stats and who are playing really well, but just are not playing well together. And that seems to be the issue later on. So
yeah.
Anyway,
fair.
Look, I think we're in agreement. So it's a quick TL, probably 3-1.
There's your alpha. Leave a like. Don't forget it.
Thanks for tuning in, guys. Like, subscribe, comment. You can find us on social media, YouTube, everywhere at Bo3 Network. Come join us in the Discord, and we will see you next week for the LEC and the LCS. Bye.
Peace.